liberated mind will always allow the body to be liberated because it doesn't take your growth up to the body. You have to take your growth beyond the body. But when you take beyond the body, that you who enter to go beyond the body doesn't exist when you go beyond the body, because you only can go to a certain level of the body and the mind, but then the extension beyond that is not you. So really understand, you or Channa cannot find enlightenment. Because when enlightenment is there, Channa is not there. And many, many births of identification has to be dropped at that very moment because it's dropping. It's not a force. So don't take the practice as something that I'm going to teach you in school, because this is not science, this is not logic. So leave the space into the mystery. So now take a moment to open up your body, find a place that you can sit very gently, allowing yourself just to be. This is not also an imitation of meditation. This is you're coming into the understanding that you're no longer there. The time is no longer a matter for you, and you're not going to find a better version of yourself. You cannot find. When the ego finds a better version of you, it's still cunning. It's still logic. It will ask, what is there for me? What is there for me? If you want to exist large, it also wants to exist large. So this is not becoming larger. This is for the time being. Very gently allowing the breath to very gently move into that spine, move into that space, and expanding that realization with more longer than what you're forcing it to come into. So now there is a potential for you to very gently find what is restricting this space. Some of you, it might be the sitting. Some of you, it might be a thought. Some of you, it might be broadening the shoulders and lifting up the space of the heart. So find that space very gently and allow that in-breath to moving into the end of the spinal column. And very gently, when you breathe out, work with your ujjayi pranayama, breathing into that lower level of the belly. When you breathe out, you very gently empty the upper chest, the middle chest, then the lower abdomen. And even you can squeeze and work on your pelvic floor, very gently feel that subtle level of the bandha without forcing it. Now, very gently, I will move the camera towards Darren so that you can have a look if you lost any level of a connection to the posture. Now, remember, you're entering into the class not to find a better version of your ego, so that it has a spiritual twist, it has some spiritual talk, and it has some spiritual level of understanding. It's not like that. So very gently, we are moving into that space. Very gently, we are drawing that energy field. And you're very gently connecting into the surrounding version of that invisible field, the electromagnetic energy that are always carrying the consciousness, the intention. So when you're activating this energy, as I always say, the body has 7 energy centers. You're allowing it to express the energy out of these centers. Now, some of you might be working on the end of the spinal column. Some of you might be in the heart. Some of you, it might be on the throat. Some of you might be in the third eye. Now, very gently, when you're connected into the specific energy center of your body, you're very gently stimulating that associated neurological plexus to produce a level of mind that then activates the glands, the tissues, the fluidity, the hormones, the chemicals in each center. So all this body is connected with Apo, Tejo, Vayo, Patavi Dhatu, heat, air, water, and earth particles, and their chemicals. And each unique center is turned on and emits this energy that you're specifically your information or to your intention. So now very gently, I have worked on your 7 chakras, so you know where the centers are. Now very gently allowing that just surviving, just letting it go if you're overly sexual, overly consuming, overly stressed, because these all are coming from the same void. And these are the most blocked chakras are the end of the spinal column, navel, and the solar plexus. And very gently bring that balance. I'm not asking you not to be sexual. I'm not asking you not to consume. I'm not asking you a gentle level of stress. I'm just asking you very gently, consciously, bringing it into the over part, turning this chemistry into a better level of formation. So if you are diminishing your light, there is no energy that carries in that conscious intention moving through these level of chakras. So very gently tap into these energy sources, very gently by acknowledging them that they exist. You're activating those energy centers. And then those centers will send those surrounding level of the cells, the tissues, that organ related to that, and the systems of the body, and make that signal more stronger. When these energies don't talk to each other, the vital energy information that your thoughts and information that are carrying negatively make these energy levels to deplete, and it can create disease. So very gently, this is the most important thing in your life. Now very gently, shoulders roll back, opening up that chest. Elevate that space of the heart, coming into the space of the Anahata chakra. And that your intention is born from the space of the heart, not so much of the mind, and the mind is surrendering into that space. Now very gently take that deep breath in and very gently raise that arms back to the crown. Very gently give a rotation to the wrist, fingers, and very gently interlacing the fingers, palms facing very gently up, very gently stretching those elbows, and very gently allow that breath to move in that back of the head a little bit open, armpits open. And very gently, I want you to consciously allow the body so that you are no longer carrying the unnecessary weight of a thought. The thoughts are very much of weighing. And when the thoughts are weighing, your body is creating that to eat more, feel more weight of that thought. And also it creates matter that you might have to eventually remove surgically if you don't come into that understanding. So very gently now take that deep breath in. When you find that there is an energy that wants to flow and move, very gently spreading the wings wider and releasing on an out breath. Now very gently stretching the neck to the right, using the palm of the right side. Very gently creating space on the left shoulder, left arm, left elbow. Very gently coming into that space of your intention. Why am I in this practice? To take a break from myself and give time to the self-realization. Breathing in very gently, come back into the center, shoulders relaxed. And allowing your larger version is actually in this space of a limitation of a mind and a limitation of a body. Stretching towards the left side. Very gently stretching the right arm away from you and creating those space between the shoulders, between the shoulder blades, and creating a great level of energy flow so the spine can work in subtle blockages and clear in that space of the highway. Breathing in back into the center, shoulders relax. Now take that deep breath in and shrug the shoulders up until the back of the head and massaging that C1, C2 spine, where most of us carry that tension of very gently breathing out, chin to the chest. Now very gently allowing that body to feel that gentle cat on a seated. And very gently work on these energies. Breathing in very gently, push that belly into the front, shoulders roll back, open up the space of the throat, and very gently extend the tongue into the upper palate. Now very gently, breathing out the body that is concerned, the mind is that concern in the survival. Ask yourself, is that representing a selfish nature? And very gently see whether you're using the power of aggression, the force, competition, so you can survive better than others. Is that what your conditions are? Is that what your environment is? Breathing in, push, shoulders roll back, opening up that space. Very gently, breathe out into a, all what I see, the conditions in this time is just to survive. But I can go to the supermarket and get more than the others to consume food. Breathing in, very gently push the belly. Shoulders roll back, opening up that chest. Very gently allow that spine, allow that space to find anything that selfishly into the selfless nature. And bring those thoughts and emotions. Very gently breathing in, elongate that spine. Engaging that spine, shoulders relax. Very gently twisting the spine to the left side. Very gently engage in that related space to represent. So this is not just we are working on the production. They're not just survival of eating, survival of comfort. We are also coming into the connection, communicating with other parts for us. Breathing in very gently, coming back into the center, shoulders relax. Elongate the spine, let the leg formation change. Very gently taking that deep breath in into the end of the spinal column. Breathing out, twisting the spine to the right side. And very gently releasing whether there is a residue of getting, competing, perfection, winning, pushing ourselves to more of our bodies. Breathing in, coming back into that center, shoulders relax and just open. Now very gently, if you're in the front of the mat, stretching that left leg into the back, getting that right hip onto the space of the pigeon pose, very gently opening up that foot very gently where you can. Allow the right foot to open. Now breathing in, shoulders relax, just open, always come into the space of the energy field. Opening up the throat and the heart. Very gently breathing out, dropping the elbows, walking the palms into the front. So very gently now we have given directions to the level of the mind, level of the body. Now very gently there is a time of taking off from that space. So otherwise we will still work in the effect of surrounding ourselves into the molecules and information and level of science. So it's not about that. It is we acknowledging all that physical properties and the characteristics. Now take that deep breath in. Shoulders roll back, opening up that chest, coming back. Very gently left foot into the pigeon pose and right leg stretch into the back. Shoulders roll back, opening up. Take that deep breath in, extension to those elbows. Very gently feeling those palms on the floor that is grounded and allowing that, expressing that energy and coming into that healthy neurological level of understanding where you can see the body, you can see the signs with that energy, with the conscious intention, moving very gently through your prana, through your body, through your mind. Now very gently, elbows dropped, walk into the front. Now there is a gentle energy which is connecting the energy of light, energy of information. So slowly each cell, each molecule have its own intention and become aligning, just as your brain becomes so aligning with your practice. So is everything that you are holding, that is surrounded, that you can see through your senses. Now it's in the harmony, not on the hormones of stress, hormones of fear, greed, but it is coming into that true self. Breathing in very gently, coming back, shoulders relax. Please carry the deep level of your messages, the things you want to sustain into the moment, not what is you're bringing from. Very gently, this is a practice for you to express and be in your true self. Because sometimes a thought imbalance can be a disease. Addiction to certain things can be when you cannot get out of it. It's a problem. Into a plank. Very gently, shoulders relax, bring the shoulders aligning with the elbows, aligning with the wrist, engaging that pelvic floor in the yuji pranayama. And when these energies don't work well, we don't work well. Things doesn't work well for us. Very gently bringing that left knee onto the floor. Now very gently taking that deep breath in, stretching and feeling the gentle gratitude of a blessing of the energy that stretched that arm. Stretch that breath, right arm reaching into the front, up to the ceiling. Rest your attention in the practice constantly and become aware of the space and creating that space, whether it's in the chakras, whether it's in part of the body. And allow this each little part to be open. In the same manner you have created that coherence with the mind and the body, now it's in every part of the cells. Right, reaching into the back. Very gently touch the floor. Now very gently right knee onto the floor, Very gently coming into that gentle space, elongation to the back of the head. Left leg stretch into the back. Take that deep breath in. Left arm reaching to the front, up to the ceiling. Breathe. Breathe. Acknowledge the practice. Acknowledge the particles, the matters. Pressing attention in that perineum, space behind your belly button, the second center, or in the pit of your gut. Or for the third center, it's the center of your chest, fourth center. Anchoring your attention in that center. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. Left arm reaching into the back. Touch the floor. Now very gently dropping both knees. Give a gift rotation very gently, allowing that opening in the seat to come into the front. Focus a space around you. Space around those centers, around those chakras. Turning very gently the energy beyond that center. Now very gently, the center that was limited with your emotion is now very gently elevated beyond. When a center is elevated, the center has a different frequency of love and gratitude or joy or beauty. Now very gently onto the other side. Very gently you're building this level of frequency, harmony, or a field without static in the centers in the body. Now very gently knees wide apart, very gently dropping the buttocks, palms facing up. Now very gently allow the breath to moving, aligning with the centers, with the right level of understanding and realization. If you dissect the body into the atoms, into the molecules, into the chemical fields that form a cell, that creates the tissue, that eventually make up an organ, the system that body is drawing from these fields of the light and the information. Communication. If this can build a body, imagine if you are coherent with yourself. This can build up so many things. If it build up you into a body, build up you into a mind. So it is not trusting. Your miracle is you're already being a human. And now you only can give a level of instruction to this is if you're in the practice. And you're meant to come into that space of practice to create. And the universe is all about creating. So it is allowing you to feel that energy if you're in that space of creating, in that space of generosity, in that space of giving, in that space of love, in that space of forgiving. So raise your frequency very gently. All your limited screaming, all your limited poor me, poor me, poor me, and your limitation of I have to have this, I have to have this, I have to have this, I have to have this to create this. That's not what is going to bring you abundance. Very gently, palms facing down, crawling and very gently bringing that chest into the front. You can bring knees closer to each other if you need. It's all depends where you're putting the attention, where you're placing the energy of your practice today. And you can build a new understanding and a realization. and very gently bringing that to raise that energy frequency, dropping the belly onto the floor. Soften the hips very gently. These are all energy fields producing constantly a new field, new level of the same level that you understand the brain. Every atom has its own brain, own intention. So when you're negatively, it is negatively against you. You might be thinking that you want to be positive, but if you're negative in the core level of your understanding, the field and the frequency and the information is against you. The body moves back to the stress, not to the new state. Even you are longing for the new state. If you're not doing the practice, you become energy less. But this is not the way that you create by eating, by thinking. Also, you create a lot of energy, but that is more dramatic level of depleting. Now, very gently stretch the arms into the back and allow the head to drop onto a side that you're comfortable, and you can allow that hunch of the back to drop a little bit more so that you can open up and elevate the space of the heart, and very gently that you can release the survival energy that my children need to survive, this need to survive. But underneath that, you might have a very holistic understanding as a mother, but it is coming from worry, it is coming from anxiety, it is coming from frustration, it is coming from distrust, it is coming from anger, it is coming from fear. So you don't have this energy, this information to elevate it around the body and give the energy to your children, but opposite, you agitate the energy of everyone. So the energy slows down and become more and more and more of less until your body becomes very gently diseased. And the practice is to very gently bring that energy back. Now to the other side of the head. Still most of you are hunching in the back. Breathing in very gently back to the center. Now very gently clasp the hands in the back. Now very gently take that deep breath and lift up the chest, but not locking the lower back. Breathe. Now that's enough. Stretch the legs very gently. Now very gently bringing the left elbow into the front. Just the left elbow. Now right reaching onto the right ankle, and see whether you can very gently take a deep breath by using the elbow of the left and using that stretch very gently and bringing that light into that space, into that frequency of that right knee, right hip, right glute, and very gently coming into that space of raising that energy by breathing, by bringing and entertaining that space of new understanding. Very gently release and bringing the right elbow into the front, and very gently stretch that left leg before you're holding it to it. So don't force it. So when you force the practice, you force the asana, you can't do it by trying. You can't do it by hoping. You can't do it by wishing, because you can't do it with your conscious mind. You have to get it to your subconscious mind, because that's where the operating system is. So very gently take that deep breath in and coming into that space. All your activities on a level of brainwave patterns of beta. And it's in that conscious level of that space of the mind, separated from the subconscious. or your autonomic nervous system. Now very gently relax if you have done both sides. Now very gently take a deep breath in. Deeper you're going into the practice. Reaching onto both ankles. Stretching the arms. Holding into that space. Push the hips onto the floor. Very gently take that deep breath and coming into that space. Deeper you go. You want to enjoy this posture from doing to observation. The way you do the posture is where you handle life. Is it a force, or it is half wake, or is it half sleep? Now you have the access to more into that space. Breathing, gently holding. Bring those heels closer to the buttocks. Drop the head onto the floor. Center yourself first. Now very gently you're slowing your brain energy. Then it slows down the body energy very gently. And very gently release them. And now very gently, there is a new level of each energy centers are coming with a greater level of understanding, greater level of a frequency of loving, joy, greater level of surrendering, and allowing that autonomic level of the nerves to take over, because it already knows how to do that without any help, without your conscious mind. So most of the yogis are still in the practice of the conscious mind. Now you are planting the same level of letting go, allowing it to take its instructions, allowing the energy to use them to create more balance and order in your body and the mind. Now turn the head onto a side that it is already. If it is turned onto the right, then move into the left. Now very gently take that deep breath, palms onto the chest level, very gently breathing into up phase. Now allow today's practice to increase this energy centers. Breathe out towards the down face, very gently allowing, very gently. Head and neck relax. Bend one knee at a time to release that tension. Very gently allowing your body to work through these levels. Using the practice, choosing the device of the body, device of the breathing, device of the mind. And very gently allow this energy fields to work in the space of blessing. Now very gently take that deep breath in, left leg up into the back. Stretch the left leg, bend the knee and stretch a little bit more. And bring that left knee onto the chest, completely breathe out. Breathing in, stretch that left leg up again. Left knee to the left elbow, breathe out. Stay there, breathe. Left leg stretch up, left knee to the right elbow. Come past the right elbow. Come past the right elbow onto the right side if you can. Breathing in, stretch back. Left foot into the front. Now very gently take that deep breath in. If you feel that you are not in the space of the balance, you can put that right foot in an angle. Arm stretch into the back. Take that deep breath in, interlacing the fingers. Now very gently bending the knee and keeping the left chest on that knee a little bit more, but right shoulder is aligned with it. Breathing in, arms raised onto the crown. Bending the knee, sitting deeper. Bending the knee, sitting deeper. Interlace the fingers, bend the knee, sitting deeper. Now breathe well. Now do not allow your back knee to bend too much, and front knee is not going past that ankle of the left foot. Now take that deep breathing in very gently, allowing the practice to be more coherent with your energy field, with your intention, and you are not lost from the intention for any interruption. Take that deep breath in, spread the wings wider on the out breath, touch the floor. Now very gently take that deep breath in, lengthening to look up. Drop the back knee onto the floor and bringing those arms very gently lunging forward towards the right side. Breathe. Very gently take that deep breath in and warming up your hip. Warming up your hip. And very gently there will be a time that whether you want to drop your elbows onto the floor, into a block, into a cushion, onto the right side. Very gently, very gently. Now very gently elongate the back of the neck, back of the body, shoulders relax and chest open. Bring your attention back to your own body and yourself merging into that feeling of purity, the wholeness and the energy of the light. Breathe in more of that realization and let the energy information carry. If you have a right intention, you can carry that intention through a light to embody what's your own truth, allowing it to pour into like a tunnel, like into a funnel, coming down through, filling your body into that space and radiating with your own body, spreading out, in and out, flowing through place you're in. Now take that deep breath in, palms onto the floor, very gently coming back, shoulders relax and chest open. Elbows straight. Now drop the back knee onto the floor, moving onto the front knee, holding onto the front knee now. Shoulders relax and get that upper torso very gently aligned. Breathe into more, drawing into more of the energy. Breathe out, that is no longer serving you. And radiate your energy beyond the space of your in. And very gently, if your intention is to create something, that you're lacking of something, and is a genuine thing, then you can spread that energy towards those spaces. Now very gently, arms stretch onto the shoulder heights. Very gently. Palms facing into the back and rotate the shoulders without drooping them into the front. Chest lift up, breathe, chest lift up. You're not rolling the shoulders into the front. Even you're rotating the arms and the palms into the back. Garudasana, right arm on the top. Very gently, subtly, keeping that energy, very gently, subtly touching your third eye. Breathe in into that, drawing that into that funnel in there, drawing that image above you, beyond you. Then your body, then your mind, spreading into the spaces, breathing into those spaces of. Now suddenly some of you might feel the thought is traveling just into a light. That doesn't mean it has lost the image, because it is carrying the intention as a light, wrapping the whole space in that light. And if you're deeply, I walked yesterday the class with the need and the want, and if there is a gentle need for the higher purpose that you need to have it, you can visualize that. Very gently, once you're visualizing it, allow the touch of the third eye to move into the touch of the crown, very gently spreading the wings wider and opening up that space of the heart and allow the energy to expand and touch the floor. Very gently feeling that peace and the unity with the whole space of the body and the mind, and to the levels of the spaces that you are conscious about into a plank. Strong on the pelvic floor, very gently bringing that left knee onto the floor. Very gently take that deep breath in and right arm reaching up to the ceiling, opening up the hip. Even the right arm stretching a little bit more towards the left side to open up that armpit. Give a rotation to that arm to see whether you have anything that's stagnated and anything that you cannot feel the light streaming down into you, merging in this information, the health, the vibrancy. Most of all, feel yourself at one with its purity, one with its peace, and one with its healing, and one with its yourself, at one with its vitality. And realize that this energy symbolizes love in action, allowing yourself to merge into that feeling of love, pure love. Right, reaching into the back, touch the floor. Now very gently dropping the knees, rotate the hips very gently. Feeling the space is when you're feeling through the peace. Feeling the space, then you're feeling the still. Feeling the space, then you're feeling yourself merging into this stillness. Feeling the space and allow it to be all through you. Feeling the space, allow it to be into your depth. Feeling the space onto the other side completely and very gently stretch the spine and be still. Palms facing up. Now very gently you can see there's affected blockages either from the outside or inside out. See and feel that energy of that light can create a level of warmth, feeling every part of the body. Feeling the same all over your body, filled with this vigor, this vitality, this radiance, this warmth that every human deserves. Same as your mother's breast milk when you're a child, the liquid of the warmth, as feeling of encompassing, as a feeling of I am back merging with the great mother. Almost if you dissolve into that warmth, that you feel it through your body and your mind as it becomes at one with it. And giving that energy of that space to stem from that infinite space of your practice, the purity that you created it. I feel like you're merging into reuniting with the infinite. Please go with it. Don't hold on to your body. Go with it. Please feel it through, all through. Palms facing down, very gently stretch those elbows, stretch those arms. Allow them to gravitate towards the gravity. Gravity is a great space to be when you have a human body. Crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Breathing in into a gentle up phase. Breathe out towards a gentle down phase. Right leg up into the back. Bend the knee and stretch a little bit more. Lift up the knee a little bit more. Right leg stretch up. Right knee onto the right elbow. Breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back. Right knee to the right elbow. Breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back. Right knee to the left elbow, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back. Right leg into the front. Take that deep breath in, arm stretch into the back. Take that deep stretch, breathing in, arms raise onto the crown. Interlacing the fingers, palms facing up. Very gently bending the knee. Bringing that experience directly. The experience comes knowing. Experience is certain when there's certainty. Experience is more of a level of understanding when it's a sense of connectedness that is deeply satisfying. Allow this experience to transform your problem into more of a flow, more of a life, as they confirm all the finest things you may have and hope for. If it doesn't come with this energy flow, you will gently coming out and giving up on these things. Very gently take the deep breath in, spread the wings wider and touch the floor. Very gently drop that back knee if you feel like, and bringing the arms onto the left side and finding a cushion or a place of comfort that you can allow this capacity to make that whatever is bringing into your reality, bringing genuinely and responsibility, reasonably that you need in your life. Now very gently dropping the elbows and very gently attend to these techniques very gently. Very gently coming into that space of understanding and very gently opening up this space of the body so that the energy is working on that space of flow. You can only meet certain things by expansion, not by in your limited space of. So if you're working something, wishing something for someone, whether it's to manage, whether it's your house, whether it's your right partner, whether it's your right job, whether it's your right health. Now it's coming through the understanding and realization. It's not a want anymore. It is very gently a need. Very gently allowing that breath to move in and very gently releasing the difficulty of the body. And very gently, when you find those spaces that you're holding, certain level of opposite to clarity, opposite to purity, opposite to intention, backed up by not having that trust, very gently allowing it to turn into those spaces of opposite. Now very gently coming back, holding onto the front knee. Shoulders relax. Now very gently take that deep breath in and holding onto the front knee. And very gently, arms very gently raising up to the ceiling. Take that extension in the elbow. Elevate the space of the heart. Now very gently spread the wings onto the shoulder heights. Palm facing into the back without rolling the shoulders into the front. Elevate the space of the heart. Breathe. Now very gently, chin up. Back of the head is aligned, not falling into the front. Don't allow your ego to backfire on you, so you will lose this energy. It will turn sour. It will come back to haunt you. So very gently, it's very important that your need is genuinely heartfelt need. There's a pure motive in it. And very gently taking that deep breath in and left arm on the top into the Garudasana. Very gently touch the sensitive part of the Chittakash of the third eye, beginning to be in that consciousness, joy, and the effective way. Now, at this very time, it's very important that you need to come into the space of gratitude. Even the difficulty is in favor of you. When your motivation is pure, you're free to celebrate the process of this. Even the difficulty is in favor of you. Now, very gently stroke the third eye into the crown. Spread the wings wider and very gently touch the floor. Very gently taking that deep breath in and very gently coming into that space of the plank. Strong on the pelvic floor. Very gently right knee onto the floor. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Clench and unclench, opening up. And we worked with the need yesterday. Very gently bringing your space into that need, onto that space of the selfless service or giving to meet another's need. Far from the ego space of driven, far from the ego wanting. A left arm reaching into the back, touch the floor. Now very gently drop the knee. Now very gently rotate the hips wider and bring this gentle understanding of this level of the work and understanding. And coming into that space of the mind, the body, the breath, the relationship with everything, so that it can lift up the space of the being, or lift up the space of allowing that the posture of meditation, allow and grounding for your being, grounding for that universal energy, grounding you for that space of feeling life onto the other side, whether it is whatever you want to call it, which everything is arising, not just with this human body and the human mind. We are much more larger than that. That is just the limited version of the self. Now, very gently from the rotating the hip, very gently align the shoulders, align the wrists, align the hips, align the knees, breathing out into a gentle space of cat. Now, very gently, anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Very gently bringing that infinite space of energy, drawing upon through the chakras. Breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, extend the tongue, open the throat into the cow. Breathe out very gently. Experience the energy flow, contracting and develop that confidence into that space. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Mahamula Bandha, anus lock, navel lock, throat lock, honoring that sacred energy through your chakras. Neutral spine. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Left arm reaching into the back, under the armpit. Bring that shoulder, the shoulder blade down very gently, very gently. Right arm straight into the front. And this is a good time, as we worked on yesterday, to very gently inquire. Inquire. As I yesterday said, do you want to be a big man in a small place, or you want to be a small man in a big place where you can request for to move and grow? Now is the time for you to very gently releasing that space, that kind of it is a very kind of a place that you have to let it go, that things no longer serve you, things that you have been running. So you do not have to dwell on it. You don't have to worry about it. Now, this is not your just letting life go. You're just entrusting and you're requesting a higher level of understanding, higher level of vibration, higher level of energy. But you're letting go of things that cannot grow in the old rotten wood that is deteriorating, and you're holding on to the same old field, same old story. Now take that deep breath in, very gently pulling that arm, but pulling it out of letting it go, letting it be. And very gently, your response will come to you. Now very gently coming into a neutral space of the spine, right arm reaching up onto the ceiling, opening up, right arm very gently needling down to the left armpit. Now as you're working through the breath and working through your physical while you're working on things, there might be certain level of actions need to be taken now within yourself to act from that space of understanding and realization. Maybe some of you have done all your work within your own sphere. And now you have to leave it onto the space of unknown to bring its abundance and availability to you, and allowing to add into all your efforts. It is never gone not noticing. If you did it being authentic, being forgiving, that if you're asking for certain things to come up, it might also come as a surprise that your mind doesn't like that surprise, because you have a way of things need to come, but it is not the way the universe gives to you. Because of your limited mind, even it is giving you the right thing, you might just question out of your old fears. So very gently, if this is the part that you need to be conscious, very gently bringing that part into your realization that I might be able to handle that surprise. Breathing in very gently, coming back, shoulders relax, and very gently chest open, leaving and letting go. Completely breathe out to the space of the cat. Breathing in very gently, dropping the belly and opening up, very gently bringing that energy into the spine and into the flow. Very gently, you're having that level of understanding and giving gratitude, and your delight with this space of understanding, and you're celebrating that understanding beyond any level of materials. Now very gently take that deep breath in, and shoulders relax and just open. Very gently stretch the spine into the back. Now very gently, palms facing up, and you're very gently allowing this practice to be your trust. Deeply trusting. You're deeply trusting in the level of understanding as the challenge and whether it's the, or you're deeply understanding the freedom. And you can see the challenge and the freedom is like in breath and out breath. It's black and white. Try to see things without its separation. And there's a beautiful version in the Bible, everyone to whom much is given, of him much will be required, and of him to whom men commit much, they will demand more. So it's on the Luke 12:48. So very gently be humble and modest and dedicated the manifestation to the higher level of understanding, higher level of the others. Very gently, arms stretch onto the side and very gently coming into the space of a child pose. After stretching onto the side, very gently, if the side is your space, then that, otherwise very gently coming into the, now crown of the head onto the floor and very gently coming up into the space of the crown of the head. Very gently, not putting the weight onto the crown. So we are working on the pituitary and the pineal space. Very gently, we are very gently opening up that space of understanding and the realization. Very gently rolling back onto the third eye. Fist on the third eye. Now very gently waking up the spine, one vertebra at a time. Now you just very gently finding a space to begin to build up your confidence in the space of the spine, space of the energy space, space of the understanding of joy, in your own space of what is rich for you. That richness is in the essence of generosity, and it is in the sense of resourcefulness, that you can deal with whatever is available around you and not to feel that you are so much in poverty stricken. Now very gently taking that deep breath in, arms raised onto the crown, cleansing the space and the aura. And this is a time that you can give this energy to your state, your home, to your loved ones, to the whole universe, not just the earth, because there are living things living in all those spaces. Not that science have ever understood that. Most of your dimension plays on different parts of this cosmic force. Very gently coming and creating the space of your crown chakra to connect with that universal infinite energy. Into the third eye, into the space of the throat, aligning with the space of the communication beyond the sounds. Coming into the space of understanding the real potential openness of a heart, not just our space of this little heart with a muscle functioning, but the vibration of the field is much more larger. We are all the Buddhas, we are all the Christ, all the space of the God, all this coming out of into manifestation or beyond manifestation is from this space of the chakra, solar plexus, navel, Muladhara. Very gently stretch that arms into the front, into the space of receiving that all your manifestations, all your deep desires, but in a sense of understanding. Arms very gently raised back into the crown, cleansing the space and the aura of your own body, own mind, own home, own family, and beyond, without any separation. Touch the earth, respect for the elements of Apo, Tejo, Vayu, Patavi. Even in an atom, it is represented. Whether it's the larger version or it is tangible, whether it's not tangible or whether it's not the larger version, but the infinite space, they all have this frequency and the vibration of these energies. And may these energy fields work in favor of all humanity. Gently coming out of the practice, palms onto the Namaskar position itself and its realization. Namaste to you all.
Namaste. Namaste.